I was watching right before we joined here. I was watching Edge of Tomorrow, which is Tom Cruise. If you haven't seen that one, that's a great one. I never managed to make it all the way through because I've always got to stop for whatever reason.
Is Edge of
But
the
never
Tomorrow the
because I
one where
want to.
he's in the robot thing and he keeps dying over and over again?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Emily Blunt too. Yeah.
Is it good? I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, Tom Cruise is in it,
It's
but it's
entertaining.
good. It's
I don't know.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
a
don't know
better
if
way to
good
say
is
it. Yes.
the right.
Like most Tom Cruise movies, you do not leave disappointed.
It's like quintessential. You're scrolling through the TV on a Sunday afternoon, and you see it, and you're like, "Oh, there goes my afternoon. I'm watching it."
Yeah.
Missy and I went back and watched the who plays Truman Capote in Capote? What's his name?
Was it Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman. The one where he
William.
plays the bad guy in the Mission Impossible, where he's the bad guy with Philip Seymour Hoffman as the bad guy. That's
The
what I think.
third
That's
one?
Yeah, it was awesome.
3 or 4. Yeah.
I think it's 3 or 4. I think it's 4. It was really good.
The only bad Mission Impossible is the second one. And people
second one's
love
real
the
bad.
second one. I
Second
hate
one's real
it.
bad. It's got some moments.
I was telling Natalie this. I'm like, I'm not a franchise movie person. I'm not really a movie person in general, but I'm not like, can't think of outside of, I just watched all the Harry Potters and I enjoyed that very much. Like Star Wars is great. The first 3 are really good. 4, 5, and 6 are good. I haven't watched any of the other ones. And just like, I don't know.
So 1, 2, and 3 definitely like hold a spot in my heart. Most like Obi-Wan is like really, really good in them, and then everything around him is actually Qui-Gon was good too, but he didn't last very long.
Yeah.
But everything around them is terrible. Like everything else is bad in those movies.
Danny, have you watched the Obi-Wan TV show on Disney Plus?
Love it. I love it.
He is so handsome.
Yes.
I could not stop watching. He looks amazing.
Andy, you could maybe be a little Obi-Wan. That's my way of saying you're handsome. But
thank you. I appreciate that. I was wondering if anybody would hire me to come to their Easter party as like a Jesus impersonator.
The problem with the Obi-Wan character is how do they go from him being like this badass protector of the galaxy and protector of the whatever it is, the government, the Empire, not even the Empire, what are they, the
Republic.
The Republic, the protector of the Republic, to this like hermit
rebel alliance.
No, I felt like the TV show did a good job of that because they had the other Jedi where they explained like.
But it's a sad way to watch this really handsome man, just be sad and like go into this like hole, but still be powerful enough. And that was cool to watch the end of how it,
Yeah.
It's not supposed to happen that way because that's not what happens,
What is a movie that got a second movie that it was so much worse than the first and it ruined the first? I went down a rabbit hole.
Godfather Part 2.
That's a good one.
Star Wars.
But like I saw the other day, there's a Titanic 2. What could it possibly be about? Unless it's like Jack's Revenge.
There's no Titanic 2. That can't be.
Actually, so I know Andy was joking when he said Star Wars, but like legitimately, if you look at them in trilogies, I think he might actually be right.
No,
when they did the prequel trilogy, it was so bad that it makes like the first one look bad.
But like, there's moments in the second trilogy that like they're not just memeable moments. Like
it's all literally for like 6-year-olds.
That's a huge part of it, right? Like everybody hated Jar Jar because he's like so childish, but you watch the Ewoks in the original trilogy, and like they're just as bad. So
they're so cute.
The pod racing.
The third movie in the trilogy is pretty. In the first trilogy is pretty bad. I mean, A New Hope is great, and Empire Strikes Back.
I don't think I've actually ever watched the third one from the second trilogy. So the third.
I saw it at midnight in a movie theater with a bunch of guys dressed in Jedi robes. I was not wearing a Jedi robe, but yeah,
but it looks like so the Star Wars episodes 1 through 3. It's literally like watching people play Monopoly. That's what those movies are. You're not playing Monopoly. You're not actively participating. You're just like, oh, did you see someone bought Baltic Avenue?
Honestly,
I wonder if they're going to put a hotel on it this time.
But laser swords.
Yeah,
laser swords are sick.
But Dooku's kind of a cool bad guy. And Mace Windu's kind of a badass good guy. There's like good parts of it. I like it.
Does Empire hit that level where it's better than New Hope in your opinion? I know
A lot of people think so. I don't. I think because A New Hope introduces a lot of the characters, and the other thing that happens in Empire is you realize that Luke kisses his sister in the first one, and it's like kind of a little creepy.
So
I also I have a hard time like placing which things are in which movies.
Think of the
Aside from,
cold one.
The cold one.
Snow Planet is Empire Strikes Back. Ewok or Return of the Jedi.
I think they're pretty close, except in the second one, you get the Vader reveal, right? Like that is what takes it to another level because it's what I think that's what takes the whole thing, like has given it the staying power.
I think because I saw them so long ago.
Watch A New Hope first.
I think because I saw them so long ago, I've just like always known that Darth Vader was Luke's father. That I don't even think of I saw them when I was like a baby, basically. So I just like. I've just always known that Vader was Luke's father because when I actually watched them, when I understood the movies, I already knew, I guess. So that it doesn't really it never hit. It never hit that was his dad.
So at bedtime, I tell my kids stories, and I got like super tired of like making up my own stories. So I would start telling them like the Lord of the Rings trilogy or like Star Wars. So my kids know, like,
you should tell them the John Wick trilogy story.
Yeah,
and that's
my dog died.
Puppy. Yeah.
No, but I told them the whole story, so they know everything that happens in Star Wars, except I left out the line, no, Luke, I am your father. Yeah. So like, hopefully it blows his mind when he watches the movie. He's gonna be like, yeah, I know what's gonna happen.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh shit,
that's a long con.
Man, you're really playing this out.
Incredible.
I'm a big nerd. Huh?
Yeah,
I will say I did.
That was good of you to do for him, though, because it should, like, that should be a moment when you're watching a movie where you're like, holy shit.
Unless he's awake right now listening to me through the wall. Then I just
he actually subscribes to the podcast. I like the last trilogy.
It would be like my daughter finding out that Ursula is Ariel's mom.
Maybe she is.
That movie's
Where is Ariel's mom?
Little Mermaid's the worst.
Also, can we not all like super relate to King Triton now?
Oh yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I was like, that is a awful father. He hates his daughter. He's awful. And now I'm like, no, she's being a little shit. She's not listening.
You saw this guy from 50 feet away, and now you think you're in love with him? Like,
you sold your soul to the witch lady?
Grow up.
Come on.
She's gonna sacrifice the planet.
The entire planet. Moana leaves home to try to save the world. She leaves home and gives up everything for some dick. Fuck her.
It's probably more realistic, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, she does have 20 things about
I actually relate to King Triton mostly with his triceps. It's King Triton's physique that I relate to mostly.
Is he the most fit? Maybe guess.
Oh, absolutely. No. Absolutely, King Triton is number one when it comes to Disney most fit characters. There is no like Gaston might be a close second, but not that close.
Imagine King Triton in his prime. I mean, we only got washed King Triton after he like had 7 kids. White beard. Like, give me prime King Triton. That dude's fucking some shit up.
That is something I would love to watch. I wish they would do the genesis of King Triton. That would be a hell of a movie.
King Triton origin story.
There's not enough Disney movies for men.
I think that's something got Marvel and Star Wars.
Just movies in general, Al. Not
enough society. They really need to focus on the white male demographic.
Speaking of the white male demographic, John Wick, best action movie ever.
Is it that good though?
I haven't seen the new one. I haven't seen anything past 2. I'll watch the rest of them, but they've all come out since I've had kids, and those movies are loud.
They're a lot. I heard it's 4 hours long or something like absurd. The John Wick.
That's like all of them together, but they're short movies.
The new one?
No, I think they're like kind of long. They're getting longer.
I'm sure Bing can tell us.
2 hours.
That guy in the new one. It's like someone cool.
Bing it, Andy. Bing it for us, Andy.
2 hours and 49 minutes is like the freaking Godfather. That's too long.
That's the new one.
Marvel movies are that long.
That's a lot of judo.
Nate and I rewatched Winter Soldier, and I fell asleep. I did get to stay awake for the elevator scene when he asked them if before we do this, any of you guys want to leave? But
Yeah, that's another thing. Marvel movies, I think, are like
they're so long. They're so long. They're good, but they're so long.
There's way too many of them too.
I've seen them all. They're fine, but like again, the people who are like, "Oh my God, Marvel's the greatest thing that's ever happened to movies," they're fine.
Franchise movie nerds, they're the worst.
If you wanted to watch every Marvel movie, you'd be stuck on your couch for like 3 months.
That doesn't sound bad.
We watched them all.
I mean, that's what we do watching football, right?
Yeah,
I hadn't seen them all. We did them.
What kind of loser sits on the couch and watches something all day,
every Saturday?
Every chance they get.
As I'm sweating beer and sausages at 1 a.m, chasing Nevada.
We did one a week of the Marvel movies during the pandemic, and it took several months to finish them all, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to do them all in order.
Andy, I see the shirt. Did you go see the film?
We did.
How was it? I heard it's good. I'm sorry for everyone who's listening and not watching. Andy's wearing a Mario Kart T-shirt.
Yeah, it was.
They would have figured that out when he answered.
Italian American erasure.
It was my kid's last day of Easter break, so he had the day off. So I took the day off and we went and saw it this morning. It was exactly what you wanted to be, right? Yeah. Like it wasn't great cinema, but like it had all the references. Like everything was. It was funny. It was a lot of fun to
make any mention of how they're not Italian?
They're Italian in the movie, but like Brooklyn Italian kind of.
Hey, what's the matter, you?
Like, hey, I'm walking in.
How's your mother?
It is. So they make a joke.
Like they make sure to pronounce gabagool correctly, and they say mozzarella, but they don't speak any other Italian.
So without giving anything away, in the movie they make a commercial for their plumbing business, and in the commercial they go like full-blown Italian accent.
Okay, good.
And then they switch to them in real life, and they're like saying like, "Hey, did we go too hard on the accent?" And they're like, "No, you got to have a thing." And then the rest of the movie they do like a Brooklyn accent.
You got to at least acknowledge it. I also appreciate, Andy, that you were like, for our listener out there, we can't, no spoilers here.
I don't want it to be spoiled.
Joey's a big movie fan.
He's also very much an Italian. He doesn't want to see his lineage.
he does say Mama
a great Italian history story.
Joey or Mario, Andy?
Both. Yeah. Every time Joey hit a good shot on the golf course on Saturday, he said, "Mamma mia!"
Wow. It was a lot of them. We shot -8.
I saw. I heard. That's good. Well, hey, welcome to ChuggieBets, everybody. I've got Andy here above me, Al to the side, Danny in the diagonal. Before we do anything,
I gotta go get a beer.
Except talk movies. Well, we'll wait for Danny to get back. I'm really excited to see the Super Mario movie. People were seeing it in like 4DX or whatever, where like the whole floor is moving, everything. They said it's an amazing experience.
Really? Yeah, that'd be cool.
I haven't seen it. I'm probably just gonna watch it at home because I'm lazy. But
turn the whole floor of the theater into Rainbow Road.
Tease.
Dude, imagine playing Mario Kart on that. That would be fun.
Oh, there's very few things I care about as far as like cartoons and franchises, but I love Mario. I'm really in for this. I hope it's good. My
son's like 6.5 and he'd never been to the movie theaters. We have COVID and stuff, but he literally was counting down the days. And then last week when it came out on Wednesday and like I wasn't taking him to see it on Wednesday, he was so mad at me. I told him we'd go
my
today.
days, it's down to 0 and we're not going.
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right.
Let's chug a beer and talk sports. What do you say?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Who's ready to chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks? Welcome to ChuggieBets.
So, yesterday was the Masters. Everyone was really excited to watch Jon Rahm win, but I don't want to talk about Jon Rahm at first. I want to talk about the Masters.
Can we talk about Jon Rahm's beard at least? Did Matt unfreeze?
Start off with Masters.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
The Masters app, yeah.
It is
Masters
an amazing experience. As far
fan of my buddies. The only thing, it does everything perfect. The only thing I wish it would do better, which is really like critiquing, right? Is I wish you could segregate different groups instead of just having your.
You can't pause there in that sentence, though.
Oh,
you cannot pause there in that sentence.
Now when we're talking about Augusta.
Yeah, true. And a tournament called the Masters. True. It needs more segregation. But also literally, and I mean in the app, and not racially. But because I do a draft with my buddies, and each guy has 6-guy team, and I wish I could put them all in there, and then I could just track through the app and see
who's who,
how each team's doing. But that's pretty niche, and I understand why they don't have it. But
I just think I wish the guys I bet on, and then they're at the top, and it works perfectly. Yeah. But I can see why if you wanted to track somebody else's bets, like how do you keep them separate from yours?
Yeah.
So the one thing I wish I could do is expand out their daily, their daily scores easier. Once I have them sorted. In the app, you can sort them better, but on the website, you can expand it out easier and see like everybody's scores once as they're sorted.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's like nitpicky, and it's probably a feature that they have, but I just didn't know how to use.
Or it'll be there by next year. Yeah.
That doesn't add up.
That doesn't sound right.
Doesn't add up.
Sound like Danny.
You'd be able to figure it out.
Either way, I know the Masters gambling is a tricky game. I know we had some success and some failures out there. I think, Danny, you were live betting holes. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I dug a huge live betting hole. Yeah, so I had a bunch of money on Koepka to win. Not a bunch of. I put $25 on Koepka to win, so I was standing to win about like $650, which I bet as if I already won it.
Yeah,
I was live betting that as if I had already won it, which was a mistake because he obviously melted down and lost. But I was betting like holes to tie, and like somehow I bet every hole that they didn't both par. like
you bet like 5 holes in a row.
70% of
only 5 holes that didn't shoot the same score on.
Exactly, I did that. Well, the 2 did 3 of them. Like all 3, it was like one that par 5 that Brooks shanked into the woods to start, so he parred it. It was a par 3. It was like that Rahm birdied like an asshole.
That is an asshole.
He was hitting pins, man. He was on point yesterday.
Jon Rahm was phenomenal yesterday. You see those special performances, and Koepka was special the first 3 days. Oh, actually, the first through Saturday. And then when they picked it up on Sunday, he wasn't the same. But he was playing the rain really well.
Why do you think it was that he tailed off after 54 holes?
Is there a joke coming?
Like that's how many holes they play on the live court.
Touche. Maybe it was. But do you think that the live guys did really well? Do you think the lack of having to play as many matches benefited them? And Phil Mickelson is tied for second or in second.
I think the ones that played really well were all in front of Patrick Cantlay on the last day.
Holy shit. Can we talk about that? Patrick Cantlay is insufferable to watch. They were saying Jon Rahm pissed 7 times and he still had to wait. Jon Rahm ate a hot dog. He pulled did we see?
It wasn't one hot dog, bud. He had a hot dog he had several hot dogs.
He had hot dogs in the golf bag. He had a hot dog caddy bring him hot dogs out of his golf bag. I wonder, do you think they were cold hot dogs, or do you think he had like a warmer, like a
he's probably got a guy who warms it up for him.
Yeah.
Dude, I think they were bringing him fresh dogs in between holes, and he was just like, he would eat a little bit of it, and then he would put it back in his bag in the little like warmer spot where most of us use those as cooler spots for beers, but they can work both ways.
He's probably like, I need 2 turn dogs. Get them to me as soon as you can. And so by hole 11.
Guys, I think we're onto something here. Lots of golf courses have signs that say like no personal coolers. I've never seen one that says like you can't bring your own hot dog grill, your own
a little
hot
like
dog
mini,
roller.
What's the little plug you use for your car to like get power? Not a USB, like a little cigarette.
The cigarette lighter?
Yeah. And it's a little the electrocuting hot dog weenie.
No, I was thinking like a trailer. I'm gonna pull behind the golf cart.
Oh, like a little taco cart.
Are we the last Are we the last generation that's gonna be old enough that we've actually lit a cigarette with one of those cigarette lighters?
That's the first thing I think about.
I don't know if they exist in cars anymore.
Well, they just have the outlet now. It's not even there's no like little.
Even that, they're getting rid of a lot of them and just putting like
USBs. Yeah.
You remember because you used to push it in, and when it got hot, you take it out and throw it in your buddy's lap.
Never
did like burn your interior.
Never did that.
No?
We have a buddy. I'm not gonna say his name, but he has a little circle scar on his forehead because when he was a kid, he popped it in, and he took it out and just what is this? He stuck it on his forehead, and he's got a little. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh.
I do not know who you're talking about.
I remember when I was a kid, we would push it in, and when it would pop out, we'd like spit in it to watch it sizzle in the back seat. Because they put them in the back seat.
Because it's safe. You got to smoke cigarettes with your kids in the back.
Yeah, when your 8-year-old needs to smoke.
But Pat, I would watch a reality show that makes Brooks Koepka just wait behind Patrick Cantlay to do anything because he was getting visibly frustrated with him. And I do think it actually impacted his performance. It's not like that's like soggy sorrows, right? Too bad, Brooks. You only made 1.2 million instead of 3. Like, I don't feel that bad, but I would watch him just like try to go anywhere, like go to Starbucks and order a coffee and wait 8 minutes for Patrick Cantlay to order a coffee. And just his face waiting for Patrick Cantlay to order his coffee.
Oh, that's got to be season 2 of the golf show. They got to just have him waiting behind Cantlay to do things and getting mad.
It reminds me of when Brooks Koepka was like when he was feuding with Bryson DeChambeau, and he'd get so pissed over any little thing that happened. It like
Bryson's
reminds
a
me
slow
of that,
golfer
like,
too, right?
Yeah, a methodical one. Yeah, so I think basically slow as shit. But it reminds me of like this tweet. Now I'm gonna have to paraphrase, but it's like, you know, when you hate someone, like you just like you hate any little thing they do, even if it's not annoying. You're like, this motherfucker's eating soup. You're like, you're like, you know, it's like, who cares? They're eating soup. And you're like, fuck that guy. He's eating soup. That's right. That's Brooks Koepka's whole persona. I feel like he just hates everyone.
It just like cycles through who he's hating this week.
Yeah.
He uses it as fuel. But I thought he played great. I was happy to see him back. I know he is a divisive character, but I like Brooks. I kind of like his approach, his nonchalant, don't give a shit. Just he seems like a great guy. He hates playing golf as a profession, but loves playing golf with his buddies and drinking beers.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Very relatable.
My job.
I hate my job and love golfing with my boys.
Yeah, like I hate my job, and if my job was golf, I'd probably hate it too. But enjoying the leisure part of it and chugging beers would be totally different.
Yeah.
He can't hate it that much because he could retire.
Yeah.
Like if he really wanted to.
And he's
hold on. If you are good enough at something that you can in 4 days make $1.2 million playing golf, no, you can't retire, Andy. You just can't.
Want to bet? I think we mentioned Andrew Luck earlier on this podcast.
He would still be playing football if there wasn't a risk of brain injury. Andrew Luck would be doing it if golfing right now if he could make $1.2 million in a weekend.
I don't know. Maybe if he was sitting close to those down trees at Augusta.
Yeah.
How about the luck of that tree falling in front of the tee box? That's the only place nobody's allowed to stand.
I was listening to Scott Van Pelt, and they were saying that they really are attributing the fact you can't bring your phone into the Masters, so no one was really looking down. They were really paying attention to the elements. Everyone heard the tree cracking, and you saw the people scatter right away, and they're like, it's a blessing. Some guy was standing between two like big trees that fell at the same time. He was like literally in between of them. It was like incredibly lucky that no one got hurt. Yeah. But they were saying the fact that no one's like staring down at their phone, looking at Instagram or any other bullshit, probably played a big part in everyone being safe.
That kind of sounds like the plot line of Final Destination, like 18. Yeah. Like those guys are all going to die later this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you put 18 because the holes in golf?
Maybe subconsciously. I just know there have been a lot of Final Destination movies, and
speaking of movie franchises,
too many. 18 too many. Do you guys want to talk anything else about the Masters? I think Jon Rahm's beard is like a masterpiece. I can't think of anyone who could shave in the morning and by the turn have a beard that goes up to his eyeballs other than that one. It literally, like if he didn't shave it is above the cheekbone.
Mm-hmm. It goes above it. If your beard goes above your nose, you got a high beard, man. Like most people, if it stops right around your top lip, you know.
Well,
if it goes,
I hope to get there someday.
Pretty high.
Oh, me too, buddy. I just have never seen anything like it. He looks like the transitional species from man to like not man, right? He's like the missing link with a furry face. I don't understand him.
It's not a bad looking guy though, I think.
Oh, very good looking. Very good looking. The boy, I love his swing.
The transitional between man and with the furry face does not give off like
I referred to Jon Rahm as hefty the other day, and the guys I was with took exception to that.
Yeah, I think that's very unique to the age group you're asking or mentioning that in front of Andy.
Yeah.
Your boy's
I bet to like a 20-year-old, he's hefty. I bet to any dad, you're like, whoa, hey, whoa.
No, it was like
hefty.
No, it's me.
It was me. Okay. And Honestly, I was pretty drunk. I couldn't remember who it was. I know I was with you, Danny, but I don't remember who took exception with saying hefty.
I did. I said I don't think he's hefty. I think he's a big guy, but I think he's more like he's a thick dude and he's got triceps like Joey. Was my exact response.
Oh yeah.
He suffers from like cheerleader effect, but for like hefty guys, where you're like, he looks like he's gonna be hefty, but then you're like, you actually look at his stomach and you're like, there's not really much to it there.
Yeah, I also thought I was paying attention to that because of what I said. He's not as strong as he doesn't have like big jacked arms like Brooks does. He's not as jacked as I thought he was. Like in my head when we had that conversation, he's just like a big thick guy. He's just a big thick dude.
Nick with a couple C's on the end, like he's just a big boy. I don't think he's fat. He's just
no, I don't either. But he's not like Rory or.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely not. He's definitely not in that like slender Spieth crowd.
Yeah, that 5'8", 160-pound guy,
like those guys that are going to get drafted number 1 and bust.
Rory McIlroy. Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to talk about the Masters? I thought it was awesome. I wish the final day was closer, and that's Brooks's unraveling a little bit, but it was really enjoyable.
I don't know. I thought so. It was close enough for me. I think that. Rahm, if he goes +2 on that back 9, then he's like in a playoff with Phil and Brooks. Like Phil came on that back 9. There were a lot of people who had a really good final day.
Yeah.
We got to see Tiger's shot repeated. I forget that guy's name, but that was a beautiful shot.
Tagala,
yeah.
He's awesome.
That was a beautiful shot. He had like a -5 day. He was sitting there even and ended up like in he wasn't tied for third. He was in that 9-way tie at -6 for a while. It was a really good day. There was a lot of good days, a lot of bad days. I loved watching Spieth play because I don't think he had one par. It was all bogeys and birds.
Yeah, he had like 5 bogeys and 11 birdies. You're like, what the fuck? How do you formulate this round?
I can identify with the no par part. Not the 11
bogeys. I get for sure.
I imagine it was the wind, but I feel like every 8th shot everyone hit was a shank, just like total biff job, and I thought that made it fun. It's like, it's like I'm watching my boys go out there and golf.
There were a lot of irons where people just had completely wrong distances, like on a couple of those approaches and par 3s where you just usually expect those guys to always land on the green. They were completely overflying it or going way too short.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job with our picks for who we thought were going to win.
I'm trying to do that right now. If you guys want to fill the air a little bit.
Who had Rahm?
I did. I had Rahm and Cam Smith, Cam Smith I think was tied for 34 or something, which wasn't great. Danny, your guys, whoever you picked was tied for 14th and tied for 10th, so they were good. It was,
and then I told you guys to make the bet. I was going to make the bet on.
Yeah, you had Cantlay and Morikawa.
Yeah, Cantlay and Morikawa had a good round.
All right, so let's recap that really quick. Danny chose Cantlay and Morikawa. If you add up the two scores, he would be at 24, the low score of the day. Al did choose the winner, Jon Rahm, with his number 1 pick.
Nice.
Cam Smith was 34th, so we add him up, 35. I had Max Homa, which was a disaster, 43rd, and then Scotty Scheffler at 10, 53. Congratulations, Danny. You're the big winner. I'll chug this beer in your honor. I don't know if you have anything to say to the crowd in your celebration.
I'd like to say no, I got nothing.
Fair enough. So I'm glad. I don't know if you saw this tonight, but Joe Biden ended COVID, which is great. And it makes me think about who started COVID. And we all know it was Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert was a bunch of microphones, and COVID started that day. And it was terrifying. Tom Hanks got COVID. Thank you, Rudy Gobert. And thank you for scaring everyone. But Rudy Gobert puts his hands on Kyle Anderson, and all of a sudden COVID's off. Is he like Thanos? He's got a magical hand. He's got the glove, and he just
he's not allowed to touch anyone anymore.
But I don't know if you want to talk about Rudy Gobert's fight. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on this. The Draymond part's hilarious. That's the best.
The Draymond troll was basically my only take on it. Is that was he just got to have that thing loaded up. He's just
How did he have that? How many fucking petty tweets does he just keep around for like
Honestly,
a
it was just in his head.
think
Clearly, what Rudy Gobert said got to
It's
him,
who
so it
he
was in
is.
his head. That's not something that he had like saved on his phone. It was something that Rudy Gobert said that got to him because he felt bad that his shit got out. So Rudy Gobert's in it is it's somebody he plays against, it's somebody that he doesn't respect, but something that he said that got to him. Also, he gets mad that Rudy Gobert gets credit for being a defensive player of the year when he thinks he's the best defensive player.
He probably is. He's one of the better ones, yeah.
Since we're on the topic of NBA, and you guys are all Heat fans, what are the expectations here for Heat postseason? They're in the play-in game,
Udonis
right?
Haslam's going to keep dropping 20 points every night for the rest of the season, and we're going to win it all. Is what's going to happen.
That was the funniest. Him dunking the ball yesterday. He hadn't led the team in scoring since 2009. That was before LeBron was here, and that was President Obama's second year in office. The more you know. That was a long friggin' time ago. If you put it in that context. But I thought that was great. I expect the Heat to beat the Hawks tomorrow because Trae Young, I'm going to say this and he's going to go for 50.
Be out, right?
The Heat always play Trae Young very well. Mm-hmm. And he always struggles against Jimmy and them boys.
When Jimmy Butler's on our team and healthy and playing defense, Trae Young can't get to the hoop. His mid-range game sucks against us because of Jimmy, I think.
Yeah, we make things very stressful. Outside of that, that's it. The rest is bonus. This team's not very good. They're boo-boo. I would love to play Boston and make Boston scared of the Heat for some reason. Well, because we make things very tough for them. And I wouldn't mind making it a little challenge.
It's the playoffs. Something could happen, right? Like all of a sudden our shooters that used to shoot 40% could just start shooting 40% again, and then we're a great team. If that happens, then we're a contender. But if they keep like they've been all year and only shooting 33%, then we are a crap team. But if you put Jimmy Butler on this same team with this and Bam and Hero on the same team with the same defense, with a bunch of shooters shooting 40, 4 guys shooting 40% from 3, then we could win the title. So that could just flip a switch and turn. Shooters can do that sometimes, but that's like, a prayer.
Yeah. I thought the Heat were injured for a lot of the season. It kind of derailed them.
Injured in the sense like Jimmy Butler was pretending he was injured so he could be healthy now, and injured in the sense that like Kyle Lowry's on our team and he's like 100 and he doesn't take care of his body. So
hefty.
He's hefty.
Hefty.
Can we get for a trifecta before the end of this podcast? We got to call some other professional millionaire athlete hefty.
Miguel Cabrera.
Miguel, right.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Not baseball player. Not baseball.
Non-baseball player.
Well, non-lineman.
Bartolo Colon.
There we go.
So many hefties. But you guys want to talk the play-in games at all? We got Atlanta, Miami. The spread's 5. That number sounds about right. I don't really have a feel on that one.
I feel like we'll cover it, but you're right. It seems about right.
Chicago, Toronto. Toronto's a 5-point favorite. Chicago's kind of been a disaster, but that seems like a lot of points. But I don't really have anything else to give there. What's Oklahoma City and New Orleans? Anyone?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyone?
Probably New Orleans.
Maybe New Orleans to cover and not win.
5.5. Cover the 5.5.
Are they favored?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think
cover and not win.
I think New Orleans has more marketable stars for the first round, right?
Not if Zion's not playing.
Is Zion not playing?
I don't know. He's always
last I saw, they said they didn't think he'd be available for the playing game.
It's kind of hefty.
He is hefty.
So, yeah.
That's a good use. I'll drink to it.
Why his legs don't work ananymore.
And then the other.
I don't know. He's had a good season when he's been playing, but you're right. He's been off and on this year. So
the other primetime game is tomorrow night, the late Minnesota at Los Angeles at the Lakers.
That should be a good one, right?
I think it will be. I can't find a lot.
So Minnesota definitely has the better team, but Los Angeles has LeBron James.
Oh, did you guys see this dumb shit? LeBron. I love LeBron. I'm a big fan of LeBron. Him putting a crown on his head to get into a play-in game is fucking embarrassing.
Oh, but also, didn't he do it after like a total phantom foul? Or are you talking at the end of the game? I just remember.
Yeah, at the end of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. But same thing. The Phantom Foul. It led into it. It was just like, dude, like read the room. You're the greatest. Don't celebrate getting the 9 seed or what. I don't even know where he sits.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Look,
They literally created the play-in system in the NBA so that he could keep going to the playoffs.
he's like 37 or 38 years old. He's clearly past his athletic prime. Just let him have this one, Matt.
No.
Like LeBron James hasn't had enough advantages in his life. It's not like he's a white male.
It's true. Okay.
He's sort of turning into the Russell Westbrook of Russell Wilson of the NBA. Everything he does is so cringy. Like, I will always be thankful that he came to Miami and got us 2 titles. And like, he's obviously the greatest.
It's completely different. It's completely different.
Argument with Jordan, but
LeBron,
like, it's so cringy, dude. Did you
LeBron
see Space
James,
Jam 2? Did you
yes.
see Space Jam 2? It
yes,
was
but
so bad.
LeBron James is a father of like adults.
Aren't they like teenagers?
His son's gonna go pro in like 2 years.
Like 19-year-old teenagers.
Okay, that's the oldest one though, right?
Yes.
Well, and anyway, why does it make a difference? Because he's allowed to make dad jokes. Like
he's
allowed to be cringy.
Yes. Michael Jordan went from being the coolest person in the world to being a dad and a crying meme because that's what happens when you get that. He's leaning into being a dad, man. Just let him.
Michael Jordan had 2 or 3 kids in Space Jam, and he was still cool as shit then.
They were young.
But he's also kind of a bigger piece of shit than LeBron James. James.
I think you need to be a piece of shit to be cool. You can't be
okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I don't know. I don't think Bill Murray. I don't think Bill Murray's a piece of shit, and I think he's pretty cool.
I think some people would think he's a piece of shit.
Okay.
I think there's some news where he wasn't the greatest, but I think anyone can have that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not. He didn't like diddle kids.
No,
but he's kind of
not canceling.
Not canceling. Yeah.
But,
we gotta grade the asshole level.
Yes.
Mild, not atomic. Yeah.
No, I honestly think LeBron's kind of in on the joke is like just being a dad, and he's just being lame. I just
think that's him in general.
Yes. I think he's just being himself,
and I don't think it's him being a dad.
I think it is
him being himself, but himself is cringy because he's never had anybody tell him like, bro, like that's not cool. You can't do that. Everybody's like, you're LeBron. That's so cool. And it's not.
The Migos comments where he's like, I heard these guys in 2012. They didn't form till 2013. The Godfather book where he's always on page 3. He's like, I'm just reading a book. It's just literally the 3rd page of every book. He just brings in a book as an accessory. It's like a purse. It's like he carries it in just so he's
never read a single page of it.
He clearly cares a lot about his image.
Oh, I get it.
Fine.
He's in the image business.
But he is not. Dude, to compare him to Russell Wilson, where it's like just so not him.
I think it's apt.
It's I feel the same way when I see either one of them come on.
I think Russell Wilson's like a 5 out of 5 on that scale, and LeBron's probably like a 3.5 on that scale.
Oh man, I disagree with you guys completely. I'd say it's like he's more on like the A-Rod scale of it.
Who's the other end? Who's the coolest without being cringy at all?
That's a good
question. Do you think A-Rod is not cringe?
No, he is. I'd say that he's like at the A-Rod level of that, like where he's like.
Yeah, which is still very high up. I agree.
No, like mid-level. Well, I guess you said 3.5. Okay, so you're a little over mid-level on the cringe scale.
He's mid. He's mid.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if Russell Wilson's a 5, he's a 3. Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah. All right. I'm with you. I'm with you on this. I thought you were saying he's like at the Russell Wilson level of cringe. I was like, no.
He almost is to me. It's pretty close.
Both of those guys.
I like him. I think he just seems like a normal dude who just never had to grow up because not grow up, but like never had to try to be cool because everyone's been calling him king since he was 16 years old.
At least A-Rod had a picture of him painted as a centaur or whatever. That's cool. That's
like we wouldn't all have that if we could afford it.
Yeah.
No, I would not have me as a centaur.
If I win the lottery, I'm getting all of you pictures of centaurs. As yourself.
No, I'm getting all of you pictures of me as a
centaur. Make sure they really define my abs. I want to see what I'd look like if I had abs.
You'll be worshiping my centaur ass.
I'm going to be reverse centaur, though. or stop.
BoJack Horseman. You want to be BoJack Horseman.
I can't wait to hang that in my living room. Just a horse with Al's dick.
One other basketball topic I want to talk about is the Mavericks, the Mavs, right? They make a big trade at the deadline. They have a great player in Luka Doncic who always gets him in the playoffs, always gets him in the second round. At the trade deadline, they get Kyrie Irving, who is admittedly great. He's amazing. He is on a different level.
Yeah, they're going to make a deep run.
They are in the NIT. Them not making the playoffs is like an atrocity. And their record down the stretch, the last 10, they were 2-8. I don't know if anyone has thoughts on any of this, but I saw Mark Cuban just like losing his shit on the sideline as they lost that game the other day. So
I'm sad I don't get to watch the two of them play a playoff series. That's really all I feel. Like they were better than some of these teams in playing games, like fucking Minnesota.
The Thunder are good too, but
It's been a long time since I've seen a team come out flatter than that.
They were.
Flat Earth.
Nobody else got Al's
Flat
Earth.
Earth.
Flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was a Texas joke or a flat Earth joke.
We talked about Kyrie on the pod a few months ago, and Danny and I have different opinions about him. But like, I don't know, some of the stuff he said, I'm over Kyrie. Like, I don't care. I like Luka, but less Kyrie on my TV is fine with me.
I like Kyrie.
I would have loved to see that team play. Like,
I think it's more enticing watching Luka try and do it on his own than like trying to build an actual team of like competent individuals around him, where he's like just another teammate and not the dude who's trying to go out there and do it all by himself. I thought that was fun when it was just Luka.
Clearly the usage rate and everything Dallas does needs to go through Luka. Kyrie was really good with Dallas. And their team wasn't good. It was weird. It was
the thing is that Kyrie's really good. Like Kyrie's really good, but he's just not as good as Luka. So then when you take Luka's usage rate down and Kyrie also isn't making anybody else better when he's really good. So neither of them are making anybody else that much better. And you're taking usage away from Luka and giving it to Kyrie, and nobody's getting better. So you're taking it away from a really good guy to give it a guy who's slightly less good, and nobody's getting better around them. It's not like they're, so it's just not a good fit.
He's kind of hefty too.
Kyrie's best person he could possibly play with if he for another superstar is LeBron. That's literally the only one, because it's somebody who's good enough to be another superstar next to him and unselfish enough that will allow him to have his space and also find him in places like, Kyrie's kind of a lot like Wade in the way he plays, where they have a great handle and they can slash the basket. Kyrie's a much better shooter than Wade ever was, but the way that their games fit together, LeBron and Wade and LeBron and Kyrie's was pretty similar.
That's a really good point.
I'll try that someday.
LeBron is a magnificent passer, right? Like he's a actual great basketball player in all capacities. He doesn't need to have a high usage rate to get 30. He's getting 30, but he'll have 12 assists as well. So that's a very good point, Danny. He can't play with – he's got to be the star, and Kyrie Irving as a star never fucking works. We've seen this. We've watched this show before. That's a very good point. Any teams you like before we'll go deeper into this next week as the playoffs kick off, but anyone you like as far as the value to win, or you want to save that for next week?
I haven't looked at all the lines, to be honest. So
let's do it next week and let's talk OBJ. So I don't know what's going on in Baltimore. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's staying, going, trying to go hunt, but OBJ, Odell Beckham, is going to Baltimore, which makes me think two things. One, good on Baltimore. They never had a wide receiver like this. This is a really cool move. Well, a wide receiver with this much promise. Let me put it that way. And two, is trouble in New York? Is there trouble? Is Aaron Rodgers not going to go to New York? I know he had him on the list.
They had Anquan Bolden.
They had that. Look, I love Anquan Bolden, Florida State guy, good route runner. Super good route runner. He doesn't have OBJ skills. Like OBJ is special on like one.
He doesn't have OBJ's top end speed, but like I don't know if OBJ has OBJ's top end speed anymore. So
it's a good point. I'm not sure.
I
But
don't know. I think Anquan Bolden, when he was with the Ravens, may have been as good. I don't know. The Ravens have had good receivers.
they had Steve Smith. They had a good version of Steve Smith, not the greatest version of Steve Smith.
Yeah, I don't think the Ravens have had a legitimate wide receiver one option in decades. So I think it will be very beneficial to Lamar and to the Ravens offense in general if Lamar sits out for any length of time. Having someone like OBJ on the team, assuming they can work him into the offense like the Rams did, and not so much like how the Browns did. So.
Yeah. So just looking at their career leaders in receiving, Derek Mason, by the way, was awesome there at the end of his career. He was pretty damn good. But it's a lot of tight ends. Todd Heap and Mark Andrews are their next two up. And then we had Torrey Smith there for a couple of years. We're down to 3,500 yards for their career leading receivers at their fourth guy with Torrey Smith. So it's not looking great there. But yeah, Mark Clayton was pretty good there for a couple of years. But again, we're getting back to 15 years ago where Mark Clayton was playing there. So
it's
been a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Torrey Smith, I guess, but
it's been a long time. Yeah. And then Ray Rice, and then here's a name for you guys: Quadri Ismail. They weren't. Were they the Ravens 99? Then? Were they even the Ravens then, or is that a Browns?
Colts? Like how long ago was
that? Is that a Browns? Is that a Browns record?
I'm interested to watch the offense. I like watching Lamar play either way. It's really fun. But give him a serious threat on the outside and Mark Andrews just prowling the middle. I could watch that. And that makes it a scary ass team because they already have a good defense. Somehow Baltimore always has a good defense. They lose everyone and they have a good defense. I don't know if it just grows and in the ground there and the soil's conducive to growing defense.
No, Harbaugh's a really good coach, man.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, 100%. I'm just saying, they always have a good defense. I'm in to watch it. I don't know if anyone else has any OBJ thoughts.
I'm just a huge OBJ fan. I don't know about you guys, but there's some boomers in my life who there's this breed of wide receiver that they hate, like OBJ and T.O., because they can kind of do some antics on the sidelines, right? T.O. was doing all kinds of popcorn shit, and or was that was T.O., right? And then OBJ was fighting the net. And they just get so mad at these wide receivers and paint them as being terrible guys. And so I love it when they succeed. It makes me happy to think of the boomer tears.
I am with you.
And then you guys got guys like Greg Hardy who they never mentioned once. But anyway.
Yeah.
I also love boomer tears. And I'm for Odell Beckham succeeding. He is my favorite receiver's best friend. So I definitely want him to succeed. Jarvis Landry. He's my man.
You gonna draft him this year, Danny?
Number 1.
Every catch is the length of a CVS receipt.
They've cut back on those receipts. I don't know if you've noticed.
Thank God. They're killing. CVS is ruining the planet. I don't want to hear about gas companies, oil companies. There's no need in today's era to give you a 9. It's like an 18-inch receipt. It's a forearm.
It was longer than that. Some of them were 6 feet. It felt like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 5 inches to me.
Oh,
I guess I'm just built different.
That's huge. That's a huge amount. I've never seen anything that. Yeah. I hate when people are like, well, just do your job. Shut up and do your. I'm like, they catch a ball. It's not that fucking serious.
He is also doing his job.
Their job is to entertain me. Do entertaining shit. I'm always going to be in.
And also, those people are always having those conversations at their fucking job.
Yeah.
This guy should just shut up and do his job. He doesn't need to talk about politics. Oh,
It's like, hey, where's the
okay.
TPS
At the water
report?
cooler while I'm waiting for this dude to
While
send
the
a
guy,
fucking email.
while some asshole is talking to me about politics at his job
Yes.
that I don't want to hear about, and I can't tell him what I feel because I want to keep my job.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it's just this brand of wide receiver that gets painted as like the bad guy, but like they've never been in legal trouble. There's never been anything like that. It's just they have some personality on the sidelines and like
It's like the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark thing. You know,
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, where she, the ring
black
thing.
athlete with personality is bad. White athlete with personality is good.
I don't think people.
I'm gonna clip that and put that on TikTok. Just Al saying that.
He's not wrong. You know?
No, I know, but the way he said it makes it sound like
It's
that's
like
his,
my
his take.
actual
Yeah.
real belief.
Yeah. White athlete good, black athlete bad.
I guess Joe Biden did rescind the offer for Iowa to come.
Thank God. I
Good.
think her intent was good, right? It was a dumb moment, but it was not poorly intended.
That's
right?
what happens when you're not extremely online all the time.
She needs to pick up her cell phone.
Well,
turn
I think
turn the ringer off first.
Try to capitalize on a moment where 12 million Americans were watching women's basketball and celebrate, like, hey, fucking hey, look, progression, right? Like, this is a great sport. And then she's like, she didn't realize. She got lost in the plot because she wasn't watching that shit.
She got lost in the South.
You know what? She was probably thinking like, this is a great moment for women. We should let all the women celebrate it. And it was that she did not realize, oh, wait, one of these, there's another thing at play here.
What if they invite
I forgot someone's
Iowa to the capital of the Confederacy?
To Vicksburg. You guys want to talk sports or some dumb stuff?
I didn't have on my bingo card. I didn't have Vicksburg reference. Did you? Did you guys have Vicksburg?
There were lots of different Civil War references, like battlefield locations you could have pulled. I think Vicksburg was.
Vicksburg hit it. Why does Easter food suck? I know we were having this conversation yesterday. I'm changing it from sports for a second. Like you think about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving kicks ass. I don't even like dry turkey that much. I know.
Why you gotta deep fry it, man?
I knew you were gonna say it. You didn't let me get it out. I was trying to
that was definitely on the bingo card.
Fry it, but Easter, it's never like lamb's good. Lamb's good in certain circumstances.
Oh, lamb is damn good. I had some good ass lamb on. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
You're the worst Catholic of all time, by the way. That is just like I'm proud of you because I'm just.
Is it not just cow? I'm not Catholic, so
you can eat fish, but that's it as far as.
But on Easter you're good. Easter you're
good.
Yeah, but this was not Easter. This was Friday.
It was Friday.
Lamb chop, which
it was literally Good Friday, and Missy and I were like. We had got off work early and we had to sit at the house all day, and we had sat at the house all day and we were like, all right, we're gonna go out to dinner, and we were trying to go to Whale's Rib and they didn't take reservations, and we were trying to go to another fish place and we couldn't get in, so we're like, we have this gift card to Avon Louis that Joey gave us, and they had a reservation in 10 minutes and we didn't even think about it, and once we were there I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna get steak. So, and they have a lamb special, so I'll get that. That doesn't count as meat, right? No. And she got a steak anyway, and we're like, it doesn't matter. We're just
I don't care. I was just angry eating cheese pizza for the fucking 8th Friday.
Dude, you gotta order a mahi sandwich on Fridays. That was our go-to every week. There's a Fish City, man. Fish City bring you one, and it's delicious.
Is it just on Fridays or is it all of Lent?
Just Fridays.
Just Fridays.
Sorry,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's okay. But now I'm eating a steak. I'm actually gonna go get that KFC sandwiches. That's 2 fried
double down
with the cheese and bacon in the middle to celebrate this Friday.
But Easter food sucks because it's ham. Because ham is just not that good.
Ham hits the 2 taste buds at the same time, which I appreciate. It can be sweet and salty.
Yeah,
but it's not my favorite of the meats.
My thought with ham is deli ham is way better than a ham on a big
ham steak.
The big fucking ham you bake in the oven. It's always got tendinous shit in it, and there's like fat and skin that you gotta like work around, and plus a bone, it's hard to carve off. You can't get nice thin slices. I'd honestly rather just buy like 8 pounds of like deli ham.
If you have to have
you know?
3/4 of an inch of brown sugar on the edge of the skin of your meat for it to taste good, then it's not good.
I disagree with your premise. I had ham yesterday. My mom made it. It was excellent. And then after that, you can have any sides you want. So like, to me, it's no different than Thanksgiving, except you're replacing bad turkey with ham, and it's fine.
The candy for Easter kind of sucks because Peeps are trash. Cadbury eggs not that good.
Definitely not as good as Thanksgiving candy.
Cadbury eggs.
It's a bunch of super thick chocolate, which isn't really my thing either. Like I'd rather have chocolate with like caramel stuffed in the middle, or
you can get that
peanut butter.
They make that.
I know they do. I know they do out.
Or you can just go to your local chocolatier.
I know, but I can do that when it's
bread.
not Easter, is my point. Like
That's
the
true.
Easter-specific candy is not good.
I like a good Cadbury cream egg. I like to really test my insulin system as soon as I eat one piece of candy. Very like, oh, my foot's tingling.
You don't like to test it as much as I do because you don't like Peeps.
Peeps are disgusting. It's mostly the Nerf football. Just crack it open, pour a little sugar on it.
It's a marshmallow with sugar stuck to the outside.
It's not a good marshmallow. It's like
it tastes like food dye.
It's
delicious.
like it's a stale marshmallow is what it tastes like.
Yeah,
that's why I don't
delicious.
like Peeps. It feels like a stale marshmallow. But deviled eggs, we can all agree, fantastic, right? Deviled eggs are awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the best part. It's the best part about Easter is deviled eggs.
I love it.
Do you like to, Andy? Do you just like to normally snack on a marshmallow though? Like, is that just like the hotness?
No, no, but that's why Easter gives me the excuse. It's the one day of the year nobody's gonna judge me for eating a marshmallow with sugar on the outside.
Hand marshmallow.
You know what would be better than having a marshmallow with sugar on the outside is just like dipping your finger, like lick your finger like this, dip it in the bowl of sugar, and then lick the sugar off. That would
It's
be
like
better.
like a fun dip.
Skip the fucking marshmallow.
No.
That
I'm gonna
sounds.
dip my marshmallow in water and dip it in
Has anyone
sugar.
bruleed a peep?
I'm sure someone has.
That just isn't that just a s'more?
Sort of.
Somebody asked that on the chat the other day, right? Can you s'more a peep? I think you can.
I mean, it would be better if you added
hard
graham
not to
cracker and
burn it,
chocolate
I
to
think.
it. Like a s'more is fantastic. A peep is trash. A peep is trash. I should go get Peeps right now and burn them right in front of you.
Literally, there's a bunch of like bare Peeps laid out on the table.
These are a bunch of haters. I have not had a Peep this year, so send them my way.
Why? Aren't they on sale right now? Isn't it like Peep discount season?
They probably are.
They're literally throwing them away outside your local CVS and Walgreens.
Peep discount.
I gotta go dumpster dive real quick, guys.
The unhoused are going past them to get other food.
The unhoused are going past it. We're passing up the Peeps.
All right. You want to talk sports again? Do you guys want? I don't know. No. Okay, we don't have to talk sports.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't remember exactly how the Chattanooga baseball game was. We can bring this up. I want to find the stat. I don't know if you guys remember how this team lost the no-hitter. If not, I'm going to just...
Yeah, they scored 5 runs and threw a no-hitter and lost 7-5.
7-5.
7-5. And I don't know how many. I think there were 2 errors and I don't know how many hits they had. But essentially, they had bases loaded. They loaded the bases with walks, and then there was an E8 deep fly ball to center field, and the center fielder dropped it, and that basically scored 2 runs. And this was with 2 outs, and then they walked 2 more guys trying to get the 3rd out, and then there was a wild pitch, I think. I don't know.
So I'm looking at the box score. First of all, it was a game between the Chattanooga Lookouts, good name, versus, I'm going to make sure I get this right, the Rocket City Trash Pandas, which, my God, I'm getting a Rocket City Trash Pandas hat. That's the greatest freaking franchise. Is that a raccoon? What is a trash?
Yeah, it's a raccoon.
Okay, it's a raccoon. The inning went like this. So the Trash Pandas had a 3-0 lead heading into 7th. And the Lookouts then went walk, walk, pop out, 1 out. Walk, So we got men on all 3 of the bases. Strikeout. So there's 2 outs. Then there was a walk, 2-run error, hit by pitch, hit by pitch, hit by pitch, wild pitch, hit by pitch, and then a strikeout. They lost. They had a no-hitter, and they lost 7-5 based on those 3 hit by pitches. It is sometimes sports blesses you with something you can't explain. And having a no-hitter where you give up 7 runs is one of those.
How about that pitcher who just kept hitting guys?
I feel like at some point he was just like, fuck.
Well, I wonder
were they
how many
all the
pitchers
same
did they
pitcher?
swap
Or?
out? Maybe there was like 4 pitchers that being
like were the curveballs just not curving? Was there something in the air? What was happening?
No, Torres hit 4 guys.
Oh, good on Torres.
Hey.
He pitched a third of an inning and hit 4 guys.
Yeah, Torres won a bet is what happened. Torres won a bet.
I can imagine being.
You can't lose this.
I can imagine being at that minor league baseball game, barely paying attention. Like maybe they have a no-hitter going on, but you're also trying to eat 9 hot dogs and drink 9 beers in 9 innings, right? So you're like already half in the bag. You're feeling kind of, you got hot dog burps. You look up and they're losing. You give up 7 runs. You're like, oh, I guess there it goes. And then it goes to the next inning. You're like, wait, they still have a no-hitter?
No hits.
How did that happen? It'd be amazing.
The
Eric, just real quick, Eric Torres currently has the ERA of 54.
Okay.
And Eric, if you'd like to come on, because I know you're listening, we'd love to have you. You can explain yourself, how much money you won on your bet hitting 4 guys in a row.
What you contributed to the no-hitter.
Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, it's I'm a big Rocket City fan after this whole story. Trash Pandas, they had a no-hitter. The coolest part is they kept the no-hitter. Even after that disastrous inning, they still made sure no one got on base the legit way. That's
the best part about that is Torres gets to be able to tell everybody for the rest of his life he pitched in a no-hitter.
No.
A professional no-hitter.
Rocket City, Houston?
Let's see.
Because I feel like if I lived in a city for 12 years that had a team called the Trash Pandas and didn't know about it, I'd be upset with myself.
They're in Madison, Alabama.
Rocket City seems like it should be Houston, because of, you think there's a lot of rockets being shot out of Huntsville? A lot of rockets going to space and
I can't wait for someone to give us the real reason it's Rocket City tomorrow. Thank you, listeners. And I'm saying that to the 10 of you.
Yes.
Find out why.
Apparently, rockets were developed in Madison County.
Thanks largely to Werner von Braun and his team of fellow German-born Rocketeers who settled there in the 1950s.
October Sky. You guys seen that movie?
Yeah. Werner von Braun.
I've seen the Rocketeer.
Same concept, yeah.
Very similar movies.
Same guy.
The only thing left I have.
The Rocketeer, the movie where he straps the thing to his back.
That's up.
Yeah, the rocket.
Yeah, he straps the rocket to his back.
Yeah,
and
he wears
that's great.
the flight suit and the
I love that
helmet.
movie. Okay, let's move
on. I am sorry. There's some breaking news. Cliff Kingsbury got a job. I don't know if you guys saw this. Cliff Kingsbury.
Is it in Thailand?
He is going to be hired to be the quarterback coach for USC. I don't know what to do with this yet. I haven't really thought about this, but he just wants to live in LA, right? He just wants to have money in LA. He's got a ton of money from being fired. He's got a really cool job. Lincoln Riley seems like a good coach, and you get to coach. Oh, I didn't even think about Caleb Williams. That's like the cushiest spot to go get a promotion for. Like Caleb Williams is probably going to win the Heisman again, and that's a pretty decent job. Good on Cliff Kingsbury. I'm sorry I threw that at you guys from nowhere.
He needs sun to rehab his complexion. We talked about how he aged a lot. He's going to go get a little younger in LA. They have great skin treatments there. I bet Cliff Kingsbury comes out of this looking zaddy again.
You think so? Oh, you think he's trying to rebuild his career or rebuild his zaddy levels? Because zaddy in Los Angeles is nice.
Dude, just look at the picture of him that they post on Bing. If you just Google Cliff Kingsbury.
I will not. I will Google Cliff Kingsbury.
Or if you Bing Cliff Kingsbury. He looks great. He's got a nice, strong beard. He looks relaxed. He looks
Yeah.
relaxed.
If you live in LA and your parents are divorced, hide your mom.
Oh yeah. Cliff
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah.
Cliff
He's
seems
got a
like-
girlfriend.
He seems like the DiCaprio type, where he likes him a certain age and not to get older. Than
Oh,
him.
I don't think so. I think
So hide your little sister. Is that...
You think he takes all comers?
I think Cliff likes I think he likes an older seasoned.
I don't know anything about his personal life. That he just seems like he would bang moms. I don't
So
know.
I just looked at the first Google image result that had a woman in it, and it says Cliff Kingsbury loses interest in NFL, buys one-way Thailand ticket with Instagram model girlfriend Veronica Bielik.
Keeps him young. I'm telling you.
She looks young too. Well, I don't know her body.
Look, we're talking 25 years old here. All listeners,
Definitely 18 plus. Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
way to
no,
keep-
she's not young. She's not young. She has crow's feet.
Whew. Let's
29. She's
Danny, will you
29.
bring a picture up of
29,
will you
Danny.
bring a picture of her?
I will bring a
29.
picture of her. What's her name?
Veronica Bielik.
You spell the last name?
Bielik. Danny's calling like a 29-year-old lady like old.
No, I'm just saying
Washed
she's
up.
got lines on her eyes. You can see.
She's-
She's a little bit older.
All right.
Danny, that's not a great pick. Well, I mean, not compared to the one I was looking at.
Give me a second.
Oh, you mean the one that she put on Instagram?
Yeah, probably.
Can't imagine that she'd look good in that one.
She looks very talented.
She's very, very attractive. That's not what I was getting at.
Yeah, she looks
For
good.
someone who's
All right.
so old, right, Danny?
All right, here you go.
If you're not
Bing
subscribing to us on
images.
YouTube, look what are you doing, fam? You're missing out on us live judge.
Yeah.
All right, everyone rate her on a
This is probably our lowest.
How many
score
beers?
as a
How many beers,
podcast.
Click on the one I just sent, Andy. I'm telling you, she's a very attractive lady. She's just not young.
Okay.
This is not the same person.
Yeah, Danny, you're not looking at the same person, dude.
That's his girlfriend.
No,
That is-
maybe not. Maybe a different one.
That is not Veronica.
That is someone
whatever.
named Holly Saunders.
That's Cliff Kingsbury girlfriend.
Are you
I mean,
It
I'm
does
not
say
saying
that
mine is
here.
right.
5 years ago. 5 years ago, Danny.
Oh, well.
That's
Okay,
right.
well. Then that's why I had the wrong age.
Yeah, the lady Danny was looking at is a whopping 36.
She's our age.
She's a golfer.
I got crow's feet. Luckily for me, I'm a man.
I have to use collagen lotion to keep my skin looking tight.
You got to.
Holly
All right,
Saunders, man. I'm a fan.
Yeah, no, she's great.
Danny
Good on
actually
you,
sends
Cliff.
a
Danny,
link to, like, her
Holly or
Golden
Cliff?
Girl.
You got to pick one. Holly or Cliff?
I think Holly. It's weird for me to say the
That
woman.
is weird for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, let's
Yeah,
give
so I
Cliff
think
a couple of
Crosby-
years not as a head NFL football coach with
There we go.
a quarterback that prefers video games over football. That was a rough couple of years for him, man.
It was.
Yeah, I love when a guy goes to the NFL and takes a coaching gig for the first time because you can literally see how much he hates it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
they
mean,
try to cover it up, but you can tell like they hate every second of it. They hate their life.
it's like being president.
Yeah.
They age so fast.
Except more important.
Way more important. Yeah.
Right. All right, let's talk sports. Al, do you have anything in the world of footy you would like to cover today? Or I'll give you a minute to talk Champions League, and you want to get some notes together, or you want to just bypass footy?
No, yeah, I'll just run through what the numbers showed. So I had a bad week betting footy this past week. Didn't go well. But at least a couple of those looked like traps, but I leaned into it. The ones I'm leaning on this week, I'm considering North Melbourne hosting Brisbane. I don't like it though. I think it's probably a bad bet. I would say
that's a good bet. That's a good bet. North Melbourne's good.
North Melbourne plus 30 hosting Brisbane.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can bet that one a little bit if you want. St. Kilda plus 14.5 at
Yo.
Collingwood.
Can we take a second?
Why is anybody
to
giving St. Kilda's the best team? Why would anybody give them points right now?
What the fuck is going on with St. Kilda? They're 4-0. They're winning by 160%. So that means for every 1 point the opposition scores, they score 1.6 points. That's remarkably better. They're
they've played Fremantle, Western, Essendon, and Gold Coast so far, and so basically they've played teams that but these are teams that are struggling to score offensively, and so maybe that's at least to some credit to St. Kilda's defense, but also, I don't know, it's kind of those teams.
Yes,
are all
they've played trash, but they've also dominated trash.
Yeah, they've done a good job. So Collingwood, on the other hand, which is why Collingwood's probably favored here, they played Geelong, Port, Richmond, and Brisbane, who are all supposed to be really good.
No, Port sucks. Port sucks. We can all agree Port sucks. They beat Sydney, but Port sucks.
God, what a stupid game that was. I watched the
stupid game.
That was stupid. That was a dumb game.
Sydney just kept getting tired.
Another game I'm kind of leaning on is Western plus 11.5 at Port. So it kind of counts on Western getting their act together because they've been kind of bad defensively and they've been bad offensively, like in the actually kicking goals. So
didn't the Bulldogs cover last week?
Who did they play last week? I don't know. Maybe, but they beat.
They won outright when they were a dog, right?
Yes, that's right. They beat Richmond.
Yeah.
But they've been kicking shittily. So that's something that should right itself eventually. And so Port's a good team to do that against because they've been bad at giving up goals inside 50. So that's the thought. I got it probably by a 2-goal swing, which is right about the sweet spot where I like to bet it. More than that, it's I would definitely bet it. But so Western plus 11.5, maybe North Melbourne plus 30, and then St. Kilda plus 14.5.
Sounds good. I'd be curious about the under in that game, the Port Western game. I don't know. I know the numbers aren't out yet, but if it was like in the 170s, 180s, I'd probably go under, peak a little bit under there.
Port and Western, I have the total being somewhere between 167 and 193, which is a pretty wide spread. So I probably won't have a play on the total there, but that's where I got it. So I would guess it's probably going to come in high 170s.
I'd probably play it under there. Both teams have been struggling to score the footy.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Champions League. What do you say, boys? And then we'll take this bitch home. Let's go. So tomorrow we got 2 games. This is the quarterfinals. This is where things are serious. The matches are locked in. Everybody's going to play. There's no reshifting, no redrafting at all. But we'll go chronologically as far as the game. Benfica is going to be hosting Inter Milan tomorrow. Really interesting conflict of styles. Benfica has been really good. They've been really solid. The best team in Portugal, which is a good league that isn't the top 5, but I'll be damned if Benfica and Porto and Sporting can't give those top Italian teams not named Napoli a run for their money. I really like Benfica. I'd probably play the plus 115 for them to win. I think this is a really good spot here for Benfica against the Inter Milan team. I don't really know what they're going to do offensively. The game's going to be tight, but I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
Like Benfica.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's too obvious, right? So
yeah,
I kind of
scary.
Pulling up the odds here. Let's see.
So you can lay the quarter ball with Benfica at minus 115, or you can just take them to win at plus 115.
Again, I didn't go through the odds for all these games, but I like
and Inter Milan can have a dynamic offense with Dybala and
but they've not been good, though.
No, they've been bad. They've been bad in these European competitions. They've been okay in Italy, but they've been bad in these look, and they're in the quarterfinals, right? And we're going to talk about Chelsea in a minute, who have been bad, but they keep winning these games. So like there's the levels of being able to manage your bad.
Yeah.
I kind of like one of their midfielders to score too. I don't know which one I'm going to bet, but I'm probably going to take a flyer on one of them. They have their own Zhao, who's pretty damn good, but I think I'm going to go with Rafa Silva.
Rafa Silva to score. I like that one.
It's going to be pretty long odds. I haven't looked them up yet, but I'll probably get somewhere in the range of 3-1 on that.
I think if you were to hold my feet to the fire and I'd have to make a bet in that Benfica Inter game, I think I would take the under 2.25.
I kind of like the under there too. And like it's going to be a tight game. I don't know if you guys can look up Benfica to advance. If anyone has that number, they can grab me.
Let's see if they have it.
I truly believe Benfica
qualify. Benfica's minus 120 to qualify.
Probably. I was hoping it was like around even. I think people would bet Inter Milan because it's a sexier name, not knowing that Benfica's really, really good. They're really, really scary.
Yeah.
All right. Second game tomorrow is just get out the popcorn. Let's have a day. We got Manchester City hosting Bayern Munich. It is Manchester City is a 3/4 ball, a favorite here, -108. Are you guys betting Haaland to score or not betting Haaland to score?
Not betting Haaland to score.
Wow. Okay. Do you guys have any leans on this?
Voting.
Wow. Okay, you're going outside the box with the Bayern Munich striker to score. Okay, I can fucks with that.
I think that's just wishful thinking. I think stick with the bread and butter. What are his odds?
If you bet the bread and butter, you're not getting any odds, bud.
That's what I'm looking up.
Haaland is -145.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's not terrible.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, yeah, if it weren't Erling Haaland, but it is.
Yeah.
Is he going to another?
I guess that's one way to put it. Yeah.
Do you have another cold streak ahead of us, Danny?
Danny, say it, and then we can all go.
Yeah, then we're like
bet the hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, I said he was on a cold streak before. He's not on a cold streak right now, so I'm not going to say he's on a cold streak.
He's plus 1,200 to score a hat trick.
Ooh,
that's pretty low odds.
If Danny had just said cold streak, I would have bet it. But
the next
I don't mind him getting a brace.
2,200, and the one after that is plus 9,000. So yeah.
Well, and Man City's really hitting their stride right now. De Bruyne is playing much, much better, and when he's playing well, that team really can run. They've been kicking the shit out of people. Granted, they played, I think, Bournemouth last week. Not the stoutest of competition there, but I'm thinking about playing Man City and eating the juice at -135. I think they are going to be the better team tomorrow.
Do you think there's any value on betting the Man City clean sheet?
I do actually think there may be value on that.
Yeah.
So
I'm not. You do that, just you could probably lay the 3/4 ball, whatever it is, as well. Yeah, I do think Man City's going to score. Their defense, they've been playing really well. Man City's been really, really good.
Yeah, so Man City shutout win is plus 235. Man City clean sheet is plus 185.
And don't get me wrong, Bayern's a scary fucking team, right? You say Bayern, you're like, your hair should stand up. There's like 3 teams in the world that will do that, and that's one of them. But
I feel like everyone's going to be betting both teams to score.
Tommy Tuchel. I'm sorry, we didn't even bring this up. Tommy Tuchel is going to be back at the helm at Bayern. Well, he's going to be back in competitive soccer, but he'll be at Bayern. You may want to bet your unders too, because Tommy Ball loves to make things real sloppy and low.
Yeah, you think he's going to sit there with like a 3 at the back? Because he hates that, but he did it for Chelsea because that's what worked.
Yeah, I think he's going to have guys back there. I don't think it's going to be particularly easy. I forgot about Tommy Tuchel. I still like Man City in this spot, but
You think he's just gonna like make Sane play wingback?
Probably just put people out of position and doesn't matter.
Honestly, I think he's gonna sort of park the bus and he's gonna try and like grind out a 1-0 victory, and he's probably gonna end up losing.
I don't. I think he's gonna be like, oh, I'm at Bayern. I have the players now. We're gonna run a 4-3-3, and we're gonna run high press, and we're gonna like play the game that I've always wanted to play. We only did this at Chelsea because we sucked. I had Kai Havertz as my striker.
We sucked our way into a Champions League win. So
yeah. All his best players were defenders, so he played them all.
Yep. Either way, I think that's going to be a really interesting game tomorrow. I can promise you, I'm booking off the time in my calendar already from 3 to 5 p.m. to watch some Champions League soccer. All right.
That's the game. That's the game tomorrow.
I think Benfica is going to be really interesting. The likelihood is you're going to see two weirdly low-scoring games. So it's not going to be the most exciting soccer. Man City, it's hard to say they could be low-scoring because they can get down and then score 3 in a minute. I don't think it will happen to Bayern. I think tomorrow will just be like one of those weird days. It's going to see a couple 1-0 games going.
Matt, did you just say parlay the unders at plus 245?
I'm kind of thinking about it. The 2 scares me. I may take the 3.5 in Bayern and then take the 2.25 and really. I know it's not going to be as good, but
can you parlay alternate lines? Is Bovada letting you do that right now?
Yeah, I always
usually can.
Plus 135, 140. Give myself a more favorable number.
If you could parlay the alternate lines, I would do them both at 2.5.
No, the Man City one's at 3.
Yeah, I would do them both at 2.5. Is what I'm saying.
Ooh, you're feeling brazen.
Keeping that 2.5 is minus 148 in the Benfica.
All right, I'm going to drink a little bit for a second, and let's do this. We got Chelsea, Real Madrid, playing at the Bernabeu in Madrid. Chelsea have had a very puzzling season. It's been a tough season. And granted, it's been very great seasons prior to this, even in the chaos.
Do you think Lampard's is he going to make it through the season? You think?
We fire a third coach. I don't even know.
I mean, I don't know how he would make it through all this season. Like, he's very bad. I don't know why anyone wants him.
Todd Steinbrenner up here could just fire another guy.
So let me go in the Chelsea soapbox for 60 seconds, and then I will chug this.
Do you, bud?
And go.
Okay, so the reason the Lampard deal makes sense is I think they got rid of Potter when he got on the lower half of the table. I think there was a buyout where his payment was greatly reduced if he was not in the top 10. As soon as he hit to 11, they realized Potter's not worth it, so they cut ties. They got Lampard as a caretaker because we only have 2 games left that matter this year, and they both come against Real Madrid. And Bruno Saltor never picked a starting 11. It wasn't a very good performance, the team he captained. So they tried to get someone who knew about the Champions League. Additionally, they're probably trying to instill a little bit of the culture.
So they hired Everton's coach?
Well, he is
somebody
also
who knew about the Champions. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go on.
No, yeah, but he's also coached in the Champions League and played in the Champions League before. But he's also trying to instill a little bit of the Chelsea culture. Ashley Cole is back, one of the greatest players of all time. Frankie Lampard is probably top 5 Chelsea players of all time. So trying to instill the idea of Chelsea, try to get the fans behind him. He's only a caretaker. He knows his job's up in May, and he only has 2 games to coach. The rest of the season doesn't matter. Just don't get relegated, and let's move to next year is the only thing he has to do. So I think that's the strategy there. It was a fucking head scratcher, but I would rather not hire a manager with my back against the wall trying to get in weird negotiations to coach 2 Champions League games.
Yeah, I think in a vacuum, everything you said makes perfect sense. But I also think
I think it's getting bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily feel good about Bowley's hiring record and going, maybe he'll fall in love with Frank Lampard. He'll win a string a few wins together, and then all of a sudden you guys are extending him and then shitting the bed next year.
No, I'm just going to wait till the transfer window when he's going to buy a bunch of guys that Lampard says that he wants, and then fire him.
But Matt, to be clear, the 2 games you said the only ones that matter are the leg 1 and leg 2 Champions League versus.
Yeah, the rest of the season doesn't matter. Like Chelsea will be fortunate to get 10 points from the rest of the season. The games they're playing Newcastle, they're playing Arsenal, they're playing the top levels of the table, and they haven't played the bottom levels of the table very well. So I don't expect a lot to go. The goal is just don't get relegated, get 5 or 6 more points, and then.
I mean, there's zero chance that 3 or more teams are going to surpass 39 points.
Oh, I agree.
So relegation's off the table, right? It's not happening.
Yeah, I'm saying that as like, holy fuck, if you get relegated. Your investment is absolute dog shit.
I'm kind of rooting for us to get relegated at this point, just so we can watch more wins next year in the Champions level soccer.
I guarantee there's no. Whoa. Shit, my internet's out. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay, good. So we're going to be going the Bernabeu. Chelsea does play Real Madrid usually well. The last 2 years we played that one. It was the second leg at Stamford Bridge, right, where hit a miracle goal. It's a perfect in the game. These games, even when we're not playing our best, we can play Real Madrid well. Everything else, and back is terrible.
Yeah, well, we're not going to beat them because the play here is to bet Real Madrid because our secret weapon is to bring in Pulisic on the 60th minute and hope that he can do something. And I don't know if you watched the last game, but he was awful. He was god awful. He just dribbled into the defense and handed the ball away. He played the Raheem Sterling game.
Watch your mouth, you communist.
Bad. No, I love Pulisic. My main hope of what would happen with bringing in Lampard was that Pulisic would return to the form of him coming on in the 60th minute with Giroud and creating goals between the two of them. That was like the big thing that happened all the time. That was the beginning of Pulisic's career in the Premier League. He was one of the best players that we had, and he's never been able to really return to that form since he tore his ab muscle. So it's been disappointing. I don't know, Matt. I think your internet's back. You can get back to your rant there. I just wanted to fill some time.
No, you did. You did a wonderful job. I don't really have a play here. I'd probably bet Benzema to score, but I'm sure it's -105 and -110. That's always kind of my play in nondescript circumstances. The numbers at 2.5. I'm not going to bet the total.
No Silva. We got Koulibaly back there. If they don't play Badiashile, I think I like what you're saying with Benzema to score because Fofana's kind of short and Benzema dominates aerial duels.
Madrid to qualify is like -230. I mean, it's probably just writing a check and just paying yourself. But
I'll pick up those pennies in front of the steamroller, man.
Yeah, it's probably
-230.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think what I like in all of these games, the more I look at it, is I think I'm probably just going to bet the under in all 4 of these matches and hope that at least 2 of them hit, and hopefully 3 or 4. Because which game is going to have the goals? Man City, Bayern, maybe?
It's going to be Napoli, AC Milan, bud. That's the game that's going to have the goals. Let's go to the final game. This is a even draw. It is in Milan, but a battle of 2 Serie A teams, right? So this is going to be a really fun matchup here. Napoli has been a fucking wagon. They are running away with the Italian title. Terrifying offensive team. AC Milan is not to be trifled with either. They got a ton of talent. Leao, Olivier Giroud. They're going to be able to score goals, even though they've had a little bit of trouble this year. Danny, I don't know if you have a play here. I'm going to bet Osimhen again until Osimhen doesn't score a goal, but
Napoli to advance with the pennies in front of a steamroller. I like Osimhen, obviously, because he keeps scoring in the Champions League basically every 2 of 3 games, 3 or 4 games, something like that. He's been scoring. Yeah, that's really where I'm at here. Osimhen's probably your better odds as far as payout, but I like Napoli to advance. I think you probably are okay at the -1.5 number here.
Napoli is actually a pick 'em. I'm probably just going to pick Napoli on the two-way, right? So the draw, you get your money back. I'm probably just going to roll the dice there. Go ahead. Al.
I was going to say, I think the way I might play this is bet Napoli money line, and if they lose this leg, then just like go in double on Napoli money line next match.
It's probably the right move there because good on AC on Milan if they make it challenging, and I think they've got the talent. It's going to be a fun game to watch. But
I wasn't thinking about the 2-leg thing. I probably won't do the 1.5 here because I was thinking about how sometimes teams will go too aggressive trying to come back and win and give up more goals, which is why I was thinking they would win by 2. So probably won't do the -1.5 in this one.
Yeah, well, it's also not available on Bovada. The closest you can get is 1.25. It's plus 395.
Matt, you mentioned that this is the game where goals would be scored. I can see over 2.5 at plus money. Do you like that at all, or?
Yeah, I do. Napoli has been scoring a lot of goals per game. There's a chance it's 2-0. Yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice on plus money. Yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice on that.
There's also like 2.25 out there.
Fuck it. Get the plus money. Get the plus money. I think if there's going to be a goal scoring game, I'm going to say this is going to be a draw, 0-0. But Napoli scores goals, and I think AC Milan realizes they're going to realize they have to be aggressive in this spot because going to the south of Italy versus the north of Italy, it's going to be a madhouse at that Napoli stadium. It's going to be freaking wild because this is about as good as this team has ever done. It's going to be very fun, that second leg. All right.
Giroud's going to score.
Oh, handsome man to score.
Osterman's plus 160, by the way, to score.
There you go. So you got it's going to be 2-1. Osterman's going to get one. Giroud's going to get one. You get your over 2.5. We get a fun game to watch. There's a lot of plus money paying out to us.
I know I've said this twice, and it hasn't worked out every time I said it, but I like Kvaratskhelia to score. He's really good. He's got
the only thing that doesn't work out is you trying to say his name.
It's a puzzle. There's so many H's and V's.
So many consonants next to each other.
It makes
plus 230. Plus 230.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. Rafael Leao was special. He's going to get picked up on $100 million transfer, probably go to Liverpool or some shit next year. So
Liverpool, Chelsea buys all the players.
Yeah, no,
we got a new coach. We got to buy a bunch of new players.
Yeah, we have Nkunku coming, so we can't take everyone at the same position. We can't. I guess we can't have 9.
We need more left wings, man. We need more left wings. Keep buying them till one hits.
That's it for Champions League. So I would go. You guys want to recap real quick? I like Benfica to win plus 115. Al's leaning on the under there. I probably lean Manchester City to win or lay the 3/4 ball, assuming you may lose the -1. I think Al's leaning the under there. Danny, what are your plays on those two? Do you have a play?
Benfica, Rafa Silva to score.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other game?
Man City Bayern. Oh, Choupo-Moting.
I got Choupo-Moting, but I couldn't find a line on him to score. It's got to pop up later. There was one on him to score or assist for like plus 185, but
that's a good play.
But I like him to score the goal, which I would like for that to be at a plus 200 number. And then I kind of like Bayern. I like the under 2.5, and I kind of like Bayern.
3. You get the 3.
I like the plus money on under 2.5.
He's plus 185 to score or assist. Oh, you just said that. Sorry.
Yep. Steve Martin was a prop comic.
Yeah, he was. He sure was. Chelsea, I think we're all leaning on betting Madrid there. Bet Benzema, bet whatever you want, or just stay the hell away. And this is the kind of game Chelsea's going to make weird, and probably they could end up winning. You're like, what the fuck? This team is dog shit. And then Milan, Napoli. I'm taking Napoli on the zeros. Al, do you have a play here? I'm also probably going to take them plus 2.5, over 2.5 goals. Sorry.
I'm probably going to tail you on the Osimhen score, and then depending on how tomorrow's matches go, hit those unders, then I'll probably bet the under.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about other shitty candies? Candy corn, am I right? Fucking terrible.
Delicious.
Oh,
Delicious.
you just like awful candies.
I feel like I'd be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Crystal Palace put up 5 on Leeds.
Oh, you guys want to?
Team America sucks at defense.
I like Crystal Palace. That's a very likable team.
That is a likable team. They have a lot of guys that can
Jon Rahm.
score. They got a lot of guys that just are fun to watch on. Like they had one of their goals. They had 3 guys streaking up, and like the midfielder was coming up behind him, and he had all 3 options, and like 2 of them were just like sad that they didn't get the ball, but they were still selling. It was so great. It was so great to watch.
I think we'd be remiss to not talk about how great Liverpool played the other day, even with a Salah missed penalty kick, which is weird how he's missed the last like 3 of them. They were remarkably good against Arsenal, and I love to see it. I like to see Arsenal struggle. It brings me joy.
I like to see the top of the table end in a draw. I would have rather Liverpool won that game, but
yeah. Chelsea played awful. That was a freaking dreadful game against. It was awful. It was an awful game. Bad performance by Frankie Lampard, who's going to bring offense. I've never seen them be so bad on offense. And that's special.
They played a 4-3-3, man. We haven't put that out there in I don't know how long. It was a completely different system. I don't even know what to say.
I mean, the Wolves have a pretty decent defense.
They do.
And Chelsea can't score for shit against anybody. So you probably weren't expecting, offensive barrage. But I think you were probably expecting the score to be flip-flopped, right? 1-0 Chelsea victory. Now
Kova was playing left mid. It was a weird lineup, man.
Well, I will say N'Golo Kante didn't play, and he's in the limited time I've seen him play since his recovery for his 4th coach in games. He was remarkable. I am excited to watch him play on Wednesday, and I think the rumor is Thiago Silva may be back on Wednesday. And that brings me great comfort against Real Madrid and that giant beast Benzema.
If Silva is there, that makes a huge difference. If Silva's in the lineup, that changes the odds on Benzema scoring.
No, it makes it a much tougher day for Benz.
And
he'll still get his. He's still going to get his, but.
Sorry,
I don't know.
I don't mean to shit on you guys, but I think I'm going to bet Real Madrid to record a shutout win +180.
That seems like the easiest bet you can make. Actually, I love that. I'm going to tell you on that.
I like that bet too.
Real Madrid to score a shutout win. Chelsea, for some reason, we can always counter them. They've always been a little bit weaker on the counter defense. I don't know why that is. Maybe because
if Kai's in the starting lineup, we're not going to score. Period.
I wouldn't mind Zhao and Pulisic scored against Courtois a couple times before in big games in order to get to a Champions League final. I'm in for that.
Matto, you're living in the past.
Hi, buddy. It's the same reason I forgive Kai. He scored the goal. The goal. You can roll your eyes. He scored the goal.
Okay, okay. You know what? Jameis should be your quarterback for the rest of his life until he's 107.
Hell yeah. He scored. He threw the touchdown. He threw the pass.
He threw that ball into the dirt.
Anything else, boys?
I'm good.
I think we did pretty well. Thank you. Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels. I don't know if TikTok's getting shut down, but please continue to follow us until it gets shut down. We're going to move somewhere else. That's all I got. For Andy, Danny, Al, and Matt, thanks for following ChuggieBets. Cheers, everybody.
Good night.
Cheers.
Joey.
Peace, boys.
What's your buddy's name in Houston who listens?
Tyler.
Good night, Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Night, Tyler.
Cheers.
And Matt. My buddy Matt.